There we are.
All right. Good morning, everybody. A morning live video series like we do every morning at 8:30. A little special treat. We're here at North Idaho Title, so different setting this morning. We're going to talk to Jackie Scapini this morning. And she works at North Idaho Title, and we're going to kind of find out a little bit more about title agency. So good morning, Jackie.
Good morning, Kevin. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So tell everybody, even I, having done multiple house transactions before becoming an agent, a little uncertain of what a title agency does.
Right. So, yeah. No, most people are. I was before I started working here as well too. So, what we do is, so after you have decided to purchase a home with your amazing real estate agent, and then he draws up the offer, we go and then search the history of that property, and we just make sure that property, we look at everything from start to finish, and see what's on the property, make sure that we can transfer that title from one owner to another, and then we ensure that you legally get to own it. The lender typically wants to have their deed of trust to make sure they're in first position, and so we facilitate all that, and then it goes into escrow, and the escrow officer then balances and makes sure that the seller's paying what they need to pay to get out of the home, and the buyer's paying what they need to pay to get into the home. They execute the rest of the contract that you write up. We are an independent third party. We don't represent the buyer or the seller. We just make sure that the contract is facilitated, and then we sign all of the legal docs to make sure it happens. We record with the county so that it's legal and on the up and up, and then you get your home.
Right, good deal. So you basically ensure that people are actual legal owners of their property.
Yes.
And obviously, done lots of closings, most of them here, because love you guys. We normally sit down, do our signatures and stuff, and obviously with stay-at-home orders that have been in place here, obviously we're starting to come out of all that. But how has business been different for you guys, and what have you guys done to handle those different restrictions?
It's been interesting, that's for sure. A lot of cleaning too. We did keep our doors open, but it was by appointment only. We weren't having free traffic in and out, and then that way we were making sure that we were cleaning after every single person. And so that was one of the biggest changes. We did keep our doors open and did still facilitate signings in our office, but just with those strict cleaning and masks, and we didn't share pens, things like that. We would do signings in people's cars, where we would come down into the parking lot and they got to stay in their car, and we would do the signing that way. There were some more high-risk people where I would personally go, because as a marketer, I wasn't able to go to restaurants and things like I typically do, so I then offered my services to go to people's homes. That way they're in their controlled environment, it's just one person, and I would suit up and gloves and mask and everything and do the signing for them at home, so they didn't have to come out into this crazy world. So that was some of the biggest changes. But as far as business was concerned, man, you guys were still...
It's been crazy.
Selling houses, so we were busy.
Demand has been extremely high. So obviously interest rates are still low, so we're still going to see that. And I think especially after all this craziness is done, we're going to see a lot more people wanting to come to North Idaho. Yeah. Where things weren't quite so crazy.
That's already happening. They're already coming here to shop and take all of the stuff from TJ Maxx.
yeah, right? The place is empty.
It's empty.
I just was there the other day, actually. With that in mind, obviously, some of the things that this brought about, I feel like, are good changes as far as, having people be more open to mobile signings, funds transfers, electronically, like where people were kind of always scared of that before. Once they're forced or enough people have done it, now it's more common practice going through all this. So with that in mind, what kind of changes or what things in the industry do you think are going to be different after all this is said and done?
One of the big ones is people working from home. For our office, we have a lot of title officers now searching property from home, and just seeing how well that works. I think for businesses, that's going to be a big, huge cost cutter, is being able to have smaller offices to
Right.
have people work from home. So I mean, that's just a generic one, but as far as we're concerned going forward, we're going to be having our notaries able to do an online notary where we can webcam and actually see the driver's license and notarize documents via
like a Zoom.
Zoom, yeah,
Oh, wow.
appointment.
That's awesome. So,
So
that's a good. I hadn't heard people doing that yet, and that is. It makes sense. Like, why couldn't you? You're still seeing people,
right?
And that's the whole thing. Is this the person that it's supposed to be that's signing the paper,
right.
And so they can visually identify themselves, their ID, and
right.
all that stuff.
And then they'd be able to, because lenders are still going to want the wet signatures on deeds of trust and on notes, and so then it's just a matter of giving it enough time to mail those documents and get them where they need to go. But being able to do the notary though without having to be in person, so that'll be a neat thing going forward. We've got these big huge monitors coming where everything is just touch screen. We'll be able to transfer docs from one to another right then and there, so it'll be like you're in a closing room but
right.
online. So
right.
It'll be interesting.
Yeah, and I think some of that, with more companies, I've kind of seen this trend or talked about this with different people, and that with people not necessarily having to be in office space as much, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with commercial properties and stuff in office space. That there's going to have to be a change of usage, I think, there,
right.
And it's going to be interesting to see what industries kind of take that, and maybe some of that stuff ends up getting converted to more residential type living in town, like condos in town and stuff, and flats that used to be office space.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see that industry is definitely going to see, I think, a change after all this.
You should try to talk to a commercial realtor and pick their brain on this, because I'd be interested to hear what
their thoughts,
what they're already seeing, if they are already seeing stuff, or if but yeah, because I know most of the business owners that I talk to, they're like, I can save costs on office space now.
It's been talked about for a long time, but everybody's always scared that it wouldn't work, or people would just be at home screwing off.
Right.
Or how do you control your people, which if somebody's in a good leadership position,
right.
They're not trying to control their people, but and so that's a matter of perspective,
right.
and I think hopefully coming out of this that people see it works. And I think the good leaders that have entrusted their people to work have probably seen good production.
It's also going to increase the workforce, because now you're going to have, people with issues that they're not able to leave the home, either where it's children, health, something, now they're going to be able to work and without having to worry about that, because they can work from home now. So
nice. So obviously, kind of to wrap this up. With NIT, so in the future you guys will be doing some mobile signings or via Zoom. What other changes, or how do you see the future as far as the amount of business and type of business that you do? Do you see changes, and what's the future look like?
Oh gosh, I wish I knew
that's
that.
a tough question, I know, but it's one that it's like always coming out of this. I mean, obviously we're going to see some changes.
Yeah.
How do you see the industry, I guess, dealing with this? I think we're still going to see a good, strong
right. And I was going to say,
market.
you kind of already touched on that with everything that's going on, not just with COVID, but with the riots and everything. Like, people are more and more drawn to this area. I mean, it's a beautiful area, but now people are seeing it as kind of an escape from craziness,
right.
which is just probably going to breed some craziness here. So honestly, I don't see a down market for us in the near future right now. Interest rates are still low. We're seeing a lot of refis right now. People just deciding to stay in their homes longer versus, and we still have a low inventory. New construction is going to be hot for a while longer, is kind of how I see it. And honestly, like, as far as we are concerned, you have to adapt and you have to go with the change. And so what one of the biggest things that we pride ourselves on is accommodating whatever that need is. We really don't have this is what we're going to do. It's really based off of our clients, and how can we accommodate what you're seeing and what you're dealing with. How can we adapt and make sure that we're still taking care of your needs and your clients' needs. So really, we're kind of just going with it. We're not really worried about anything. We're Yeah.
Well, that's what I love about you guys. NIT's been amazing to me. They always have some of the best communication that I've ever experienced with a title company. So that's why I like it here. And with that, obviously, you know, one of the best ways that we can help you is obviously send business your way. So if you're a realtor and you're looking for a good title agency, reach out to Jackie.
Thank you.
Her info, I think, will be attached to the video here. So if anybody's curious or wants to set up an appointment with Jackie, I'm sure she'd be happy to talk to
Would love to.
any new or experienced agents. And
and I personally do a lot of classes for new realtors too. So I love working with new realtors and getting them set up and knowing what it is that we do and how we can help them. So
right. Yeah, you and I got in about the same time.
Right?
I think I was fairly new, and
I was pretty new
when you first started here.
We figured it out together.
Yes, exactly. So, and one last thing, what is a good book that you recommend to everybody?
Oh goodness. Well, I'm a historical fiction reader myself, but for business wise, I just got done reading. Forgetting who the author was. I usually like holding books, so I know, you know, and this one was on Audible, but it was it's the giver's gain mentality. It's the seller sells more. We were doing a podcast thingy on it on our website. Anyway, that was about 6 months ago. I read that one and I absolutely loved it. Gosh, now I'm trying to think of who the author was.
Well, when you think of it,
I know.
Post a little note on the video
on
here. Yeah, not a problem. It's something new I wanted to ask people, you know, because, you know, I mean, there is a lot of value in a good book, and especially with motivation and sales techniques and things like that. But you know, I've had great help just going through this COVID with, you know, morning routines and all that stuff. So yeah, love to hear that. But thank you for joining us.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me.
Again, Jackie at NIT, and have a great morning, everybody.
Goodbye.